Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hello, everyone. Back in the Pyrax game. Going to talk about something very different today, but also has to do with what we talk about. Remember, my new lot in life is three things: comedy, cons, conspiracy. How can I put acting in there? Cacting. But what's a C with acting? Childish behavior. I don't know. Anyway, I don't usually do this, but I want to talk about the show because it really made an impact on me, and I think it has to do with conspiracy. The show is The Idol. It was on HBO. I don't know enough about it. I know the guy that created it along with The Weeknd. Abel. I don't know his last name, Tesla or something. Obviously he's The Weeknd. Huge legend. And so is the guy who created this because he created Euphoria, which I've never seen because I'm not in middle school. I want to watch it. I just heard it's about a bunch of high schoolers taking drugs. I heard it's an amazing show, though, but I'm just not where my head's at right now. But I heard it's amazing. Was that a shot? It wasn't a shot. It's funny. So anyway, that show's a huge success. They created this show, The Idol, and it really... I don't watch a lot of stuff, but like when I'm totally dead and everything's, I have like a week of being caught up, I'll vegetate and I'll just try to take something out within a night. So I'll sit at home and I'll fall asleep and I'll do like 2 nights in a row and I'll watch a series. And this series was good because it's only 5 eps. I heard they had huge plans. I had a fucking nasal thing there. There's a lot to say, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Huge plans for this show. I guess it got derailed. I don't know. First of all, I heard it was 6 episodes originally, and it was season 1, and they're going to go to more. Then I heard they didn't air the final episode, but it felt like I watched the final episode. Then I heard they didn't air it because they didn't like it. Then I heard there was a disruption because some kind of sexual misconduct. I don't know. Then I heard there was a lot of like sexual misconduct on the show, which actually starts with the sexual misconduct, like a person on the set basically monitoring the set so it doesn't have sexual misconduct. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in this, by the way. And I don't know. The whole show seems like, that's all. There's a ton of sex in it, so I don't know where the misconduct would be. I mean, pretty much from the first frame, it's on. So I don't know where. I guess people were saying it's unnecessary. I don't know. But I'm going to talk about first how this is involved with the strike, and then I'm going to talk about the series and then why I liked it, and then I'm going to talk about how it really made a mark on this in my brain. So first of all, just to let you know, I know nothing about it. Like I said, a great creator, another great co-collaborator with The Weeknd, great idea. I don't know if it's coming back. I guess it was canceled. I don't know why it was canceled. I heard people didn't like it. I absolutely fucking loved it. But I'll explain why in a minute. Probably you have to know what's going on in the game to really appreciate what it is. Well, I don't know. I hope it's not canceled. But this is an example, though. 98 million subs, 275 subs. Netflix, 275. HBO Max 98, just about 100 million, right? I don't know, 30 a month, 300 million a month, right? No, 100 million subs, $3 would be 300 million a month. $30 a month is 3 billion a month. 3 billion a month, is that right? It's one of those numbers. That's 36 billion in a year, if that's the thing. I think they have 98 million subs at 30 a month. Let's just say 25 a month. 25 times a million is 25 million times 10 is 250 million times 100 is 2.5 billion. Yeah, okay. I think they're making almost 2.5 to 3 billion a month. Hey, but office supplies are expensive. Oh no, wait, there's no offices. Listen, they got overhead. But if you want to talk about the misappropriation of differences in funds is a great example for this show. And I absolutely love this show. And I love all the people involved. But, if I'm going to be blunt here of what I believe is honesty, I'll try to talk about this right down the middle. Basically, I had read, now I don't know if this is true, just understand this. So when we were doing Ghost Whisperer, ours was about $1 million an ep. And I remember we didn't come back because they couldn't work it out financially. Like, although they've exploited that show around the world, I never got more checks for anything in my life than the 2 seasons I did on Ghost Whisperer. God bless him. Ian, God bless you. Your wife, God bless you. Ian's, God rest his soul. CBS, Touchstone Productions, which is Disney. I get checks from fucking Jakarta. People are like, Ghostbusters. So, like, it's amazing. But what's fascinating is they couldn't come to a number. So I think the show got canceled financially because it could have kept going. It did 5 deep. I was in 2, and there was 5. I only did 2. Jay did 2 before me, and Aisha did 1. It was the kind of the comedic relief thing. And Margaret Cho came in and out. So that's where that was. I thought, I'll get 1 more year, right? It didn't happen. And I believe it was financial. And I believe they wanted 1 in EP, which was a lot of money. But we were the number 1 show on Friday. But $1 million in EP is a lot of money. And this was, 13 years ago. And I remember hearing some of the arguments. Well, Lost was getting 1.5 in EP, which was unheard of. And the studio's argument was, it's Lost, which is, a very good point. It was a Touchstone television event for the 5 or 6 years it was on. But Ghost Whisperer has made an impact for sure. It's one of like 8 touchstones of my career. And it's definitely, people come up to me all the time and talk about it. So it made an impact. And I think we were trying to get $1 million in EP for everybody, all in, meaning production, above the line, below the line, craft service, everybody, actors, writers, and had a lot of great writers on that show. I don't know how they wrote the show. They might have roomed it, or each week a different writer got a solo credit. So maybe they broke stories in the group and then they solo credit. It was very well done that way. Like each week a writer would get a nice credit instead of just sharing it. So that helps build their resume. So long story boring, it was about $1 million we wanted. I don't think we could have got it, or $1.1 million, whatever. We just couldn't come to the numbers because to sell it internationally and all this stuff, it didn't pencil out. So they're like, okay, it was a good run. So I think that's why it canceled. And then Lost, like I said, was getting 1.4, 1.5, which I think was a lot. And people were like, but it's Lost. Okay. So that was like the first I ever heard of a TV show costing that type of money. The last year of my show, Jimmy Kenny Experiment, was $750 an app, and we were traveling around the country, and I had prosthetics, and I had a group of like 60 people I would take with me and use very little locals because you had to have a specialty to do the show, whether hiding in a bush with a camera, or putting a lav mic on you when you're hiding in a pineapple fucking field, or whatever. I mean, we had some local people, but it was hard, because you needed to know it was a tough show to execute. And that was a lot for me. So maybe it was 1.5 for Ghost Whisperer, maybe Lost was 2. I'm not sure. Anyway, we couldn't come up with a number. They couldn't. I wasn't a producer on it, but I was listening to the combos. And $750 was a lot. Last that season was 2004 for me. So let's say 6 years later. It makes sense, right? Let's say 1.5. And Lost was 2. And they're like, it's Lost, which makes sense. Like, that would be the most expensive show on TV. Shooting in Hawaii, big special effects, planes, J.J. Abrams, all this stuff. It's what they call top heavy because of all the people, the names involved. So if you want to talk about this stuff where I talk about there's other things going on where money is displayed throughout and it's not displayed appropriately. Like, how much they made on Squid Games on Netflix, but how much it cost them, right? And how much they kept, right? And by the way, that's another thing. They'll go, we'll just go to Korea and get the next Squid Games. That's happening. No one cares about the feelings of the artist. That's just the truth. It's the bottom line. Money is money is money is money. Money means more money. More money means more objects you can acquire. More objects means more fun, more freedom to do whatever the fuck you want, i.e. fuck you want money. So, why am I bringing up The Idol? Because The Idol, it was like an amazing idea, a simple idea with a very multiple-layered concept if people really got what it is. But, from the hottest producer on HBO, possibly one of the, hottest producers on TV with Euphoria, probably is, right? Top hottest music act in the world, top 3, Weeknd, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Weeknd's top 5. His idea, I think, with I believe Sam is his name. Long story boring, an amazing piece of content, art that I think will be highly revered in the years to come. But I read, now I don't know if this is true, so I could be an idiot, but it kind of makes sense. I read that the budget for the 5 eps was $55 to $75 million. So this is the stuff you got to talk about when you're going down the street with the pitchfork for the CEOs. Yes, you got to go for the CEOs, but you have to also understand that other artists are paid. And so everything should be AI, stay with me, not in the faces, but in the accounting department to say how much money was spent for the return for how much it made, whether financially, cultural impact-wise, award-wise, whatever, right? So if that's true, let's just say it's true. It's either it was 11 million an ep or 15 million an ep. And it wasn't your typical hour. It was anywhere from 48 to 52. None of this shit was over fucking 61 minutes. No special effects. The way it looked was amazing. It was shot. The DP fucking goated, right? The sound, all weekend original music, goated, incredible. All 10 new hits out of the show. The production design, goated. The directing, goated. The writing, really good, but like a lot of sub-levels to it. Really good, the writing. But also there's moments that people didn't understand that they were saying, well, this seemed a little like cheesy, but I'm like, that's not cheesy. That's the way it was supposed to be because the character's cheesy. Ooh, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that maybe. I don't know. Have some balls, Jamie. So long story boring is they also shot it at the Weeknd's real place, $70 million place in Bel Air, which is incredible, goated spot. And it's fucking incredible, and I could see his life being like his life. So I remember I had $1.5 million spot. It was nice, and I was like, okay, I just look poor compared to this guy. So what am I trying to tell you? I'm just going to talk about the economics before I get into the other stuff of it. But basically, in a nutshell, the show was not really hard to produce in the sense of, in terms of scheduling, the superstar's schedule and a lot of busy actors' schedule. Like, it was shot on location. It's no special. It was basically shot like a really cool drama. That's it. Like, there's no special effects. There's no stunts. Not that it needed to be, but anything that you would think of expensive, it's not there. So where'd all the money go? Well, probably the Weeknd got a big ass chunk. The EP got a big ass chunk. And, maybe, one of the actors or two, but probably not. Probably the actors didn't make as much money, right? Maybe some, but not really. So, because it was like the Weeknd's first acting job, and he's awesome in it. I think the girl from Blackpink. So this shows you that when you're talking about this disparity, at the most, this show could have been $1 million an ep. Right? So it's already, here's how it's fucked up, because it easily could have been less than $1 million an ep. Each is a 48-minute movie. 48-minute movie, like $1 million, right? So it's shot in LA on location. You're paying fees. This is all fees, but it's all negotiable, right? If you get rich on the back end. But there's no back end because you're basically making this as a piece of content for your streaming platform. So you're spending it. Why did HBO do it? Probably because they have the hottest showrunner on TV, the biggest movie, biggest music star in TV, in the world, top 5 talents in the world, an amazing emerging new superstar in Lily Rose Depp, another huge music star, legacy, amazing actors. So it's like, hey, this is a big, like, yo, look at here, Hollywood. Look what we're doing. It's a big payday, and it probably won't get any awards. It should, because I think because of some kind of sexual assault. I didn't read enough about it, but I heard there was like grabbing and people saying, stuff on set. But that the whole fucking show is about, there's a lot of sex in it. It's a realistic depiction of the music business and deeper. So I don't understand it. But I don't know. I was on set. So long story, not boring at all, is that this was basically a vanity play by HBO. Hopefully it'll get them, 5 million more subscribers. Do the math. It'll double what they spend for it if they hope, and then it's off to the races, right? So I guess that's the play. But no residuals unless they take it and lease that. If they're leasing it to Netflix, then the actors and people will get paid again and stuff. But again, like this was a TV show, you take it, traditional model, you resell it in reruns, make money on each stage of it, how it works. So you get paid once for the original, rerun on HBO again, you get paid again. Then it goes to cable, basic cable. Let's say you see on TBS, you get paid again. Then it goes to broadcast TV, which is a cleaner version. You get paid again. Then it goes to local TV, you get paid again. But also before that, there was DVDs. You get a cut of that, all this stuff. A lot of those things have gone away because streaming just goes, and so you're cutting out 7 tiers of payment to people, which is great if you're the guy that owns it. Bad if you're the people that wanted to get a check every time it's sold. So that's the basic rough of that. So just to show you, I mean, just to let you know, people are getting paid, but it's a disproportionate amount. Like, did I think that was a $75 million series? In the look and execution, no way. But for the talent they have involved, sure. For their time, if that's what their time is worth and that's what they get paid, of course, get it. You should always get it. But I'm just telling you, people don't tell you that stuff. Like $15 million an ep, if that's the case, or 11 on a show shot in Beverly Hills. That's all fees. That's not like there's no huge like Planet Earth CGI Robert Downey Jr. flying in a spacesuit saving Saturn. That's just not there. So, and that's the expensive stuff. So I'm saying get money if you are a person that's successful in this business, but don't just, you can't always holler at a CEO because the CEO is paying. But like again, they probably might not get the return on that. But I don't know enough of it. But let's go to the show. So the show to me is incredible. Like I said, it's shot unbelievably well. It's a simple idea. The art direction's incredible. I love the title. I love the Weeknd's music. Lily Rose Depp is a superstar. She's incredible. It's just so like mesmerizing when you look at her. You get hypnotized. Beautiful, smart, sexy, vulnerable. The girl from Blackpink, incredible. Also, the girl from Blackpink's an incredible dancer, but Lily Rose Depp's an incredible dancer. Like, I couldn't believe she really hit it. All the actors, from the lady who's a record exec to the young kid who's a music star in real life that was like the art decorator or whatever. Eli Roth plays the head of Live Nation. He's hilarious. Like, I could see his mind. I could see him improvising the fuck out of that. Hank Azaria, incredible. Where I'm watching, this is how good he is. I watched him. I'm like, that's Hank Azaria with a French accent, or no, Israeli accent. And then by like 30 minutes in, I'm like, wow, that I was more with, he's so good that I didn't think of the actor. I thought of the character. The chick who was like the other hardcore manager, the black chick. Everybody's good. If I left anybody out, I apologize. The Weeknd was fucking awesome. He was great. And here's what I would like to tell you. It's like Entourage, but darker. And I love Entourage. Entourage is so good, it's hard for me to watch it because I get FOMO. It's like a darker, no comedy version of Entourage. And I talked to somebody in the music business about it who also loved it. And her name is Sharon Osbourne. And I'm like, you and I are the only people that love this fucking thing. And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, that's the reason why I loved it. And I wanted to check in with her because there's only a few people in town that you can ask if this is an accurate depiction. And as much as I think I know and how music and TV and movies go hand in hand, I actually was in the music business hardcore for 3 years. And I had my own taste of it. But I have to ask Sharon. And Sharon was like, totally. So what am I trying to say here is that the show is so good, but it makes me think about a lot of things. And like I said, the acting and the writing is really, really, really good. What I wanted to tell you is that this isn't any review or anything. This is just a reaction to it. But some people don't get it because they're not deep enough to understand when there's some lines that come off like they don't like, why are they saying that? That sounds like cheesy. Because the character's fucking cheesy. Oh, the DJs and the producers and the music also incredible. Because I know how these people work. So anyway, I'm going to spoil it. Lily Rose Depp is a huge pop star. Stuff happens to her, which is totally of the day. I won't tell you that much. She's got a team, and, you know, they have to squash the issue, and you take the issue and you make it better, or, you know, you avoid the issue. Long story boring is a dude comes into her life the weekend looking like a cheesy club promoter, which she is, half fucking criminal backstory, which the music business is, and any business in Hollywood is. And he basically infiltrates himself into her life. And I don't know if there was a lot of anything that was inaccurate because it's wild. It's wild. It's so wild to me because I'm my own version of this. I've seen bigger versions of me than this. Here's what it is this guy who really doesn't have any access in the business charms a huge star, which is very doable. Because when you're a huge star, it's hard to deal with other huge stars in different ways. But let's just say romantically, because your life, your schedule, you want what you want. Your life has dictated you what you want. So you date or hang out with somebody who's easier to be with because they're going to do what you want. You know what I mean? That's a lot of my truth. Like it's easier for me to date a non-famous actress than it is a famous actress, just because it's hard. Like, you gotta have, if you're a busy person and your career is your number one, you need somebody with you all the time. It's hard if they have their own super duper over there. You know what I mean? You're gonna meet, and it's hard to do that. You have to like schedule everything and stuff. So the young, hot, beautiful ingenue Lily Rose Depp becomes, she's having a down point in her career, and she's still very young, like a total Disney kid. I think it was a mix of a few people, but definitely Miley. And then getting into her adult stuff, definitely felt like Miley as a good muse for this. And basically, she meets a dude who's a charlatan, but what does he do? He's a really talented charlatan. And that's, first of all, why I love this, because he's not really a charlatan, because what's it worth, right? If you're getting the results, are they really a charlatan? And so it's a really good thing of not dictating to the audience. It's zero preachiness, which I'll even go deeper what that is. Remind me if I forget. Which is basically, this guy comes in, it's jail. Meaning that when you're in jail, my buddy was in jail, and they try to chump you for your minutes. You get like 5 minutes, and then if they go over, for every second they're going over, you're losing your time because the line is the line. And so if he gets off 2 minutes over, you got 3 minutes unless you chump the next guy. So what you have to do is you got to grab the phone, and either my buddy did it or my buddy saw somebody did it, and the guy went over by 2 seconds, and he said, "It's my fucking time." The guy didn't hang up. The other guy grabbed the phone and bashed him in the fucking face because he said, "You ain't chumping me for my fucking minutes." And so right away, they established alpha dominance in jail. And that's what this character does. He demonstrates alpha dominance over this huge pop star who's basically a really sexy, beautiful woman, but alpha in her career, meaning she's the center of it. She's the star of it. She fills the stadium. She's an alpha, but a beautiful, soft, loving alpha, but always going to be the biggest star in the room. And here's this guy, which happens all the time, because if somebody steps to you that hard, you're like, where's this person getting the confidence? I'm me. So it's an intriguing thing for someone in their position. I'm not going to say I'm in their position, but I have my own position where it's intriguing when somebody does that, where they step out of their zone where you don't think they are, and you're like, excuse me, and then boom. So she treats it as something very fun, like, oh, it'll be fun with this guy, and this guy starts making just enough points to get in her fucking skull. And as the audience, you believe what he's saying because it comes out through the music. He reworks, 5 bars here. He reworks the verse here, or he reworks the refrain, and it's just better. And it's subtle, but you have to have the ear for it, but it's just so much better. And you're like, oh, fuck. So this guy's a little shady and how he's doing it, but what he's doing is incredible. So it's like, it's right on the line of, is he manipulative or is it working? Long story short is he basically, in a very short amount of time, gets within her circle, infiltrates her circle. He's banging her brains out, the whole fucking thing. You don't really see it, though. It's not bad. He's actually doing a lot more of this type of stuff, which I guess, But I think it's pretty artfully done. I mean, it's not terrible, but he's basically like getting her in touch with her inner sexual, if you will, demon to create this type of music, get through her trauma, all this stuff. It's a deep artistic journey, if you really look at it this way. The assistant also forgot. She's a comedian too, and she's hilarious, very good. Also she's the comedic relief. I say comedic relief, but she's also very good dramatically, very good. So what am I trying to tell you is that it resonated so much with me because it's like how somebody from absolutely the total outside can get in a person's circle like mine, or, even someone bigger. And it's with charm and it's with talent. I think talent recognizes talent when they see it, no matter what form it's in. And I always say to anybody, how do you date an actress? They ask me. That's the biggest joke, is I say, stand next to her. What? How do you date an actress? Stand next to her. Because no one's going to ever ask out an actress. That's why you see actresses, going out with the shift manager, Trader Joe's, because that guy's got the balls to ask her. it's usually other actors that date him because they're the only guys hanging around. Eventually, they do enough kissing scenes. Like, yo, you want to fucking go? Do you want to go and hang out at Buffalo Club and have some dinner? And then, it's on, right? So it's like that's why they date within the circle. But they don't. They love to get asked out, but people are weirded out by them. Same with music stars, all this shit. So if an unknown person is up there spitting game when they shouldn't be, and they fucking catch the eyes, it's on, right? So it's like, ooh, this guy's confident. So that's basically the underpinnings of who this character is. Super talented guy. Then it goes into like, is he running a cult? Is he running mind control? There's MK Ultra tones in this. But let me just finish it before I get into that. So it's just basically what the show is. He goes in, he's manipulating, or is he improving her? I don't know. They're about to pull the plug on this whole tour. This guy's a problem, blah, blah, blah. But he puts his talent in front of him, in front of her, and one by one, his tribe becomes her tribe. And he's also double dipping on her. He's fucking the girl from Blackpink and all this stuff. And so as it's happening, she's looking much more difficult. And his talent, at least one of his girls from Blackpink, but she's just plays a backup dancer in this, is looking much more like, well, if this girl's this difficult on a video shoot and we've already had a run with her, here's the new talent and we'll sign you to a deal, blah, blah, blah. So basically, she starts liking his talent, doing this stuff. She's manipulating him to the point where he's doing fucked up shit to his people and she to her people, and then first she's like no, and then he makes him expose their darkest secrets. So then she's like, that you did that, and then boom, and he also exposes her darkest secrets publicly again. So then she has to own it, but then that pain that you walk through is going to make you a better artist, all this stuff. At the end, I'm spoiling it, ends with an amazing showcase. Everyone thinks the guy's a fucking scumbag. It's fucking backstabbery left and right, but his talent is incredible. All different verses, from an EDM type of chick, a super runaway hippie type of crunchy chick, a soulful Frank Ocean type. There's like three, a rock goth emo chick, whatever. There's like three of them, and then Lily Rose's character, who's the big global superstar. And she's like, I'm going to take your talent and I'm going to fucking. She hates the guy because she finds out that he's fucking the other girl on him, and I'm gonna use them to open up for me, blah blah blah. And at the end, long story, they link up again, and he's this little fucking scared little guy, and he goes to the concert, and he's like, his tickets for Pimp Daddy Kane or whatever his fucking name is in it. I forget his fucking brain. He has one name in it, and then they're like, we don't have tickets for you. And then he's like, tickets for Jeremy or whatever his real name is. And they're like, yeah. So it's basically the pop star alphaed him and said, I'm leaving you tickets, but under your bitch name, not your cool name. I forget his name, I'm sorry, but it's a fucking great, perfect name for the character. And then you leave knowing that she is now the alpha dominant that she always was, but respects his talent and know that he will make her better. So if she can keep him in his pocket, that's how I roughly got it. I'm going to say why that resonated with me, and then I'm going to go into the deeper meaning. Why it resonated with me is because I've seen this, first of all, in my own life. There's a guy named Stu Stone who's not like this guy, but he's an amazing eye for talent. I have a really good eye for talent, but in 2004, he brought me multiple music people, and we did just this. One guy's an amazing, piano player and harmonizer. Another guy's a music producer and guitar player and singer. And he brought me different girls, and we started a record label, and we had 5 types of music, and we called it Flower Pot. And we put them all in my house in Vegas, and he produced 5. I have all the music. We produced 5 different types of music, and we thought if one hits, we'll make a few $1 million. And it was going to be a reality show for VH1 and all this stuff. And you'd be amazed what happened. Some girls flamed out, other girls on drugs, other girls got pregnant. I don't know exactly who blew up. One girl went, I think Allison won The Voice, so that was a win. But she was always the front runner. And then the other guy, Eli, who was just one of our producers, he wasn't even one of the on-air talents, just won a Grammy working with Sia. So our eyes were in the right place. We had pieces of them, but it just never worked out. And so I'm so happy that they won. So it works in the music business when you get it. It's like with Flower Pot, we were planting these seeds. And so but we would have all these different artists come in, and then the DJ would have DJ Lethal, who's an incredible DJ. Look him up. And I saw him in this series. I saw Trugman. I saw all the different people that helped produce my album. I saw 15 people from A&R over there, Wormser, and people eating a taco over here, and then you get fucking billed for it. So there's a lot of stuff that Ramen gave me PTSD of, like, that cost me money. And the house was big. Not, my house wasn't as big, but my house was always filled with these people, and it was like, oh, I feel loved. I'm part of this community. We're making this great piece of art. And then we came out on a Friday, and we sold 5 copies. You know what I mean? And we pitched the show to VH1, and they get close, and they're like, nah, we're not doing it. So it's like that type of shit. It just fizzled out. You're so fucking depressed, and you go to fucking, and then you go to, I think we went to fucking, I was so pumped out, and we went to Vegas. It didn't work, and we just went to Vegas, and we went to Babies, which was at the Hard Rock, or between Body English after Babies, and we just drank bottles all night and fucking raged in sadness. You know what I mean? And had our Vegas run. So, I mean, so what does this mean? I see it. I believe it. One of the girls was a runaway in the show. Like, I see all of these things. It's a very real thing. So it spoke to me. It's very real for the music business. And it's an amazing piece of art. But there's so much to it. Like, is it an overpriced piece of art? How does it affect with the strike in terms of the big symbolism there? Do people deserve their money? Yes, they do, but people have to understand, and sometimes people get paid and it doesn't work on that one, and other times people are highly underpaid and they have a huge success and they don't get what they deserve then. So it's all different types. But I didn't even want to say all that for this because I wanted to say for one thing what this really was. And to me, this whole fucking show really is about occultism. The way it's shot, the feeling of when it washes over you. It's something you can easily watch in one night. It's a smooth glass of bourbon. There's a lot of red. Do with that what you will. There's a lot of little symbols, and there's a lot of you questioning your beliefs as you're watching this more and more. And you're like, is this guy's basically saying, do what you want. Be the uncaged animal you want to be. No judgments. And he exposes people in their most personal, darkest shit. But he's like, if you do that, you will get this. So it's basically like, do this to get this. And it's a deeper conversation, but it's like, do what thou wilt. So to me, the Weeknd's character kind of represents Satan. I know you're going to hate that, but he kind of does. Because he's this beautiful, really charming guy. He's like a funnier Satan because he's a little cheesy with his wig, his rat tail and stuff. And then, but the talent is so undeniable, and the ethereal qualities of his music and the way he says something, and then he looks in the way they shoot it, and then the next thing you know, he's fucking got his fingers down there, and she's like, ah. And it's like, and then she ends up like, oh, like she ends up liking it. So it's like he's the absinthe, if you will, something that you shouldn't drink, but when you drink it, it does make you feel better. So it's like, do you want to do that? It's really Adam and Eve. There's a lot of that. There's a little serpenty in there. There's a little, you take a bite of the forbidden apple. So it's really about society and like, will you make this amazing art? Yes. Will you have to go through this terrible pain to do it? Yes. Will you get a legion of people that love you? Yes. Is the whole thing a big cult? Probably. Like, stadium of people worshiping you. How is that any different than Jim Baker? I mean, I love it, but I'm just saying. So to me, that was a deeper underpinning of this is basically about the devil saying, hey, you want to make a deal? Because everyone was like repugned by him at first, and then they couldn't deny his talent. So they're like, ugh. And then he's like, this is my fucking house now. So he fires her chef, and she's like, sorry. And at first you think, damn, she's being Stockholm syndrome. But then it's like, it kind of makes sense. He's cutting the fat. So they really made it up to the viewer to decide, which is awesome. So it's kind of what you read into it in your own mind. And then at the end, they got to pay him to get rid of him because they're going to use his talent. So obviously he did have value. They pay him $500,000 like that, which is no biggie. And that's real. That's real. That's a very real thing. You pay people to go away all the time. That happens all over our business. If you don't want to admit that, then don't admit it. And then, again, ideas don't come out of thin fucking air, okay? That was fucking because the shit's out there. Okay. The other thing is that is that this beautiful, vulnerable, just, very unique star, which is Lily Rose Depp. It's like she's so sweet and funny, and then she's dark and sexy, but there's a lot of vulnerability to her, and very real. And then at the end, she's just a tough, cold, not cold, but very in control. And she cuts people out of her life like that, but kept him, but now on her terms. And I've seen that. I've done that myself, where people can fuck you over and they're done, and they don't bring at least great music with them. And by the way, I'm still best friends with Stu. He's my boy. He's not the devil. But I'm saying is, I've seen people come out of nowhere, and he was already in the business, but he brought me a lot of people. So Stu is Satan, I guess. But I've seen very powerful actresses let people in their lives, and then these people just fuck them over. And then where you think they're alone, and these people think, oh, I got this person wrapped up with their fucking security, manager, lawyer, get the fuck out. Bam. I've seen that multiple times. And that's what a team is for. When they don't listen to you, you need help, because people will try to take advantage of you. And it's like, you're nice. I know a chick one time lent a Range Rover to this new stylist she was working with for about a week, needed a car, brought the Range Rover back. It was all muddy, fucked up, wasn't cleaned up. She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't get to it. It was all fucked up. She's like, oh, thank you so much. The next day, bitch gone, fired, paid off. Here's your fucking money for 2 weeks. Get the fuck out. What happened? Bitch, you got a Star's fucking Range Rover for free for a week. Use your head. You should have brought that shit back fucking detailed with flowers and fucking chocolates in it. Dumb. No, because people don't realize they're dealing with a different level. She's treated like one of her fucking frat sisters. Bye. So the show's amazing. It's a lot of levels. I think there's a cult symbolism. In fact, I'm pretty sure there is. Amazing show. Crazy that it costs that much. Crazy that it won't come back because it's artistically amazing. But what will come back? Do anyone care about the Emmys anymore? There's Oscars. I have no fucking idea. Hey guys, if you like this content, you know what to do. Peace.